As our World War II and Korea combat veterans fade away, I think it's more important than ever to find ways to honor their sacrifices. And one way I thought of was to laser engrave their names in your favorite rifle stock, so those sacrifices are close whenever you fire the weapon. That's what I did with this .22 caliber M1 carbine replica, which I built to honor my father Oliver, who fought at Okinawa, and my father-in-law Andy, who earned 4 Bronze Service Stars in Korea. Now when I'm at the gun range with my grandkids, they have a visual reminder of their great-grandfather's sacrifices in World War II and Korea, and they ask me questions about their service. In this video, I will share how I engraved the rifle stock to honor these combat veterans. Okay, before we get started on actually showing you how I did the engraving, I want to give you a close-up view of it a little bit better so you can see what we did. We included the logos for the Army and the Marine Corps, included my veterans' names, and then a little bit about what combat service they had. So I think it turned out really nice. Gives a nice addition to the stock. Okay, the first step in doing the engraving is to create the logo artwork. So in this case, I've done it in a program called CorelDRAW, and I digitized the logos for the Marine Corps and the Army, and then I used the program to be able to create the text in the circular pattern around the outside and the inside. Save this as a regular file, and then I'll show you how you bring it into the engraving machine next.
Okay, the software artwork has now been brought into the Trotec software, and we bring it up in CorelDRAW. Then you go into an interface and select the wood type that you're using, the power settings that you want for this. All these affect how deep the engraving is, how it's affected, and so on. It's like that. You set up the parameters for the size of the file and so on, and you save it. And then the next step would be to actually send it to the printer device that Trotec uses to print the file. So then the visual is actually sent to a printer driver that Trotec uses, and it's set up and positioned how it's going to print actually onto the printing surface of the laser printer. So once it's positioned properly, the file image is sent to the laser engraver. Here you can see the stock positioned in the laser engraver, and we're starting to actually engrave the image. Now, depending upon the settings, you might have to do several passes to get the depth and the detail that you want in the engraving. So this currently is just doing the first pass. We'll do several passes on this to get it dark enough and deep enough based on what we're trying to do. Okay, now we're almost done with our engraving. You can see we're on the final pass. We've done this several times. We're finishing up the final text here for the lower part of the engraving. So that completes this part of the engraving process. We've got one more step left to give it the look that we're looking for. Okay, now we've taken the stock home with us. We've finished with the actual engraving process at the laser engraver, and I've cleaned the images on the stock with some steel wool, smoothed them out, put some polyurethane over it to protect it. And now what I want to do is actually darken up the image. And I've taken some black Indian ink, and I'm actually rubbing it into the impressions in the stock so that it can darken it up. Because what happens is it engraves the wood, but it doesn't actually give it any color. So what I want to do is have those stand out better, and I'm actually adding ink to it and then rubbing off the ink from the places I don't want it, and then it gives it a very nice dark finish. So I'm going to do that to both logos here and finish it up, and then I'll show you a shot of the final product.